Welcome to the Film Garage 208 podcast. My name is Sarah, and this is Daniel.
Hello.
Hello. Today we have with us Brooke and Perry.
Hi.
They are
Thank you for
Brookie's
having
cookies.
us.
Hello.
Yes.
Have you had Brookie's cookies yet before? Because a friend of ours, Chandler, gifted us some cookies the other day. Amazing.
So
you.
They were
good.
so
Thank
amazing,
you. We love
actually.
Chandler. Yes, I'm so glad.
They look
so
good.
nice of
They
him.
taste good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That is very kind.
And it's like super different from any kind of cookie I've had with the frosting on top.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I was
totally.
expecting, but
Well,
in like
I'm
the best
glad.
way.
Which one did you try? Coconut cream?
That was one
I think
of them.
that was
I ate
one of
like
them.
3 of those.
Chandler is like all coconut cream, which I love because it's my
I
favorite.
think it was. It might have been like 2 or 3 coconut cream and then
Yes.
maybe 1 like chocolate. Is like,
Yes, that's
is
like his
s'mores
go-to.
a thing? Or
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
might have
I
been
did a s'mores.
s'more. Might have been.
Yeah,
Could
he
have
had,
been.
he had quite a few, but it was awesome.
Love it. I'm
Yeah,
so glad.
Chandler's one of the lucky ones because we do a monthly subscription
Ooh.
and he won a giveaway for a free year
Oh my
of
gosh.
subscriptions. Yeah.
did?
He gets cookies every month.
Is there a limit?
Yes.
What a
per
lucky
day?
duck.
It's just 4
that?
a month.
4 a month.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a box of 4 a month.
Limit
Yeah.
that for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so just tell us about yourselves in general.
Okay.
Let's get to know you a little bit.
So we're both from Seattle and we grew up together. So we our families were friends and
It was prearranged marriage.
it kind of was.
Yeah.
But I
Since you were like
had-
12.
Yes. No, literally, I have loved him since I was 12.
Oh.
And he's 2 years older than me though. So anyway, long story short, we never
Controversial.
dated or anything, but very in love.
Yeah.
I was. And then we went to school, he went on a mission, came home, and then we got married. So we've been married for 7 years in
Okay.
April.
Congrats.
And thank you. And we went to school at BYU, Idaho. I was elementary education.
Mhm.
He's communications. And then after we graduated in 2020, which meant no graduation,
Oh, yeah.
we moved to Vegas.
Okay,
And because that's where he served his mission, so had some connections there. And
sure.
we worked. I was a second grade teacher. He was working doing PR. And then we moved back here because he got a job on campus. So
Oh, wow. Back to BYU.
back to BYU.
Sadly,
Here we
yes,
are.
but-
Yes.
That's usually how
We
it happens, I
never
think.
thought we would be back, but
Right, of
we're
all
actually happy to
places.
be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a student, I was like, get me out of here. But once we moved back, now that I'm like living there, we have a garage, normal things.
Uh-huh.
It's way better. And it's actually like we've made a lot of friends. A lot of people are same age, and Vegas was a little bit harder in that way. So it's actually great other than the weather that I hate. But other than that, it's wonderful. So
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't
Yeah.
know, it's dumping snow
Yes.
right now
yes, it
after
is.
days and days of snow. It's kind of
wonderful.
insane.
And it's March.
And it's March,
it's
now
March.
officially.
Yes.
It's supposed to be spring and nice right now.
I know.
Love
I
that
know.
for all of us.
But yeah, that's, the gist, I would say,
Yeah.
of who we are.
So you guys are like city kids then, if you lived in Seattle.
Yeah. We were like 30 miles south of Seattle. So the town I'm from is Maple Valley, and then he's Enumclaw.
Uh-huh.
So he was like right under Mount Rainier. So we
Okay.
were kind of like in the middle of, he was a little more farm town.
I see.
Mhm.
I was kind of more city girl.
Mhm.
So, but I like Idaho. I like
Yeah.
small town. It's great. No traffic. Like I'm
It
here
does
for
have the
it.
pros.
Right? Once you're
Yeah.
done with the
Yes.
city life,
Yes.
you really appreciate it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And my parents have now moved to Idaho. His
Okay.
parents are in Utah. Like no one is left in Seattle anymore. So
Okay, that works out then.
it works out.
Did
Yeah.
they move to Rexburg to be by you?
No, so my parents actually live in Boise.
Okay.
And then, his parents are in Provo and a few of his siblings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Close,
anyway.
but not too close.
Exactly. We're like
Close
right in the
enough.
middle. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. They were just here this weekend. My parents are coming this weekend. So
Oh my gosh.
we see them all
Did
the
they
time.
drive in the storm though?
I think your parents said it was fine. They drove home last night and they said it was okay.
Well,
So
good. They missed
they said
the,
Pocatello was rough, but it's always rough.
you-
So
you know, with all the construction, it's
I
really
know.
ugly now.
Yes. So anyway, but yeah,
Anywho.
it's great.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
good
So
things.
you
Very cool.
taught second grade.
Yes.
Love
I did.
that. So
It
you're
was
not
crazy.
currently teaching second grade anymore.
So yeah, I graduated 2020 and I've always wanted to teach like my entire life. My room as a kid was like a classroom the whiteboard, the whole thing.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. So we moved to Vegas and it was COVID. So then we had to teach online. And that was just the saddest thing for me because I've always dreamed of like having a classroom and having the kids come and all the things.
And then
so
you didn't get it at all.
I didn't get it at all.
Oh my gosh.
So that was rough to start. And then Vegas just isn't super well known for their school district.
Sure.
So it was just rough. Like I had some rough administration and the kids are just a little bit different breed there. So it was wonderful in a lot of aspects and a lot different than I was expecting in a lot of aspects too. So the first year was a little rough. And then the second year I moved schools. Like we had moved schools. I got to be in a classroom again. That was wonderful.
You got the experience.
Yes, I got the experience. So that was great. And then we moved here.
Was
so
that what you were expecting?
It was more of what I was expecting. It was still crazy.
I'm sure after just the COVID stuff with school, it just
the kids were like so behind and just catching up, a lot of catch up.
Yeah.
But it was great. Like I definitely got the taste that I wanted. But then once we were moving here, I'm like, I don't think I want to do that again. And we just had different, like Brookie's Cookies kind of came about. I wanted to try some different things. So great experience.
Yeah.
Probably won't do it again, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I have it under my belt and we're good.
On to the next thing.
Yes, on to the next thing. That's kind of how I roll. Like I don't like to stay in one spot for a while. So I'm like, all right, done.
Well,
moving
if you
on.
know you're not happy, then what's the point?
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
true.
And working like, 60 plus hour weeks and just like I wasn't myself, I could feel.
Right.
I was so stressed and like we never did anything fun because I was working. And anyway, it was just crazy. So I feel way better now.
No, like the mental health and sanity.
Yes.
It needs to be such a priority over
Absolutely.
all of that.
Yeah.
After
and just
leaving
my
our job.
emotional
Ugh.
state and like I would cry every day.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, why am I going crazy?
Yes.
Because this is not.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad I did it,
Yeah. Now you can
Here we are.
move along.
Yes. Exactly.
So what transitioned from this to cookies now? How did we get into cookies?
Okay, so I grew up baking with like my mom and grandma. Like we always had homemade stuff. So it was always kind of part of my life. And then once we had gotten married, I started with cakes actually.
Okay.
So I did cakes a little bit while we were still in school and then a little bit in Vegas.
Like as an actual business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But not to the extent of what Brookie's Cookies is. Like we changed our name a few times.
Yeah.
No branding, like just
Sure.
threw it together.
Testing the waters there.
Exactly.
essentially.
Yes.
Was it Brookie's Cakes?
No, it was actually called Simply Cakes.
Simply cakes.
And then we moved to like homemade something.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
We like kept changing. I don't know. So yeah, we did that for a little while. And
What else did you make? You know. What's some of the things you made?
I mean, like I did cakes mostly and like cupcakes and stuff.
Pesto.
Yeah, pesto cake, duh, artichokes. But yeah, it was just a lot of like, I'm more of a flavor person and not like a presentation person.
Okay.
And so cakes would stress
gotcha.
me out. Like if they were not perfect, I'm like, this is literally terrible. So
You kind of notice any imperfection on the cake.
and I could never do like the sides right. I mean, it was just awful. So I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I still love baking.
It's
like
a big size too for a
Yes.
good. It's a
Yes.
big
Who
product.
was that last person we got a
Absolutely.
cake for? It was Lee. We went to the just
Yeah.
Albertsons.
Oh, no.
And it was kind of late at night, and
Yes.
the cake artist.
No, we went to Walmart.
She looked young. Anyways,
Yeah. No.
we asked her to write "Happy Birthday, Lee." It was
Yes.
super basic, and
Totally.
she's like, she takes a while. It takes a long time.
Oh no.
And then eventually comes back, and she's like, "Hey, so I messed up on one part of it.
Oh no.
Like, do you still want it? If not, I can just give you a new
Yeah.
cake." And she showed me the part that she messed up on, and I was like, "That's what you think you messed
where
up
did
on?"
you mess up? Because
Like,
it was all so bad.
The rest
It
is
was
terrible. And she thought she
Yeah.
messed up on like an
Nope.
exclamation point at the end.
and it was like,
like, oh.
it was literally like the happy birthday where it
Just
was
looked
like,
at Sarah.
oh,
I was like, "This isn't going to get any
God.
better."
Oh, yeah.
I wish
right.
I did it.
I didn't say that.
Seriously
of course, but
though. Yes.
I think we were just like,
it's just like, that's
It's
perfect.
fine.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
exactly
Love
what we
it.
wanted.
Yes,
anyway.
so that was me.
Yeah.
Like that was me. I just was not super good at it. But especially during COVID, I feel like that's when I really started like baking. Like my sister-in-laws and sister and mom would do like Sunday nights. We would like FaceTime and bake something together.
Cute,
And
okay.
just because, you know, what else do you do?
For COVID
Yeah.
times.
So that's when I really started like practicing, especially cookies. And I would just find recipes and bake and do all the things. And then I would start bringing them to like work or to friends' houses or whatever. And they were like, these are really good. And I'm like, oh. So I think it slowly, like it was a very slow progression of like, oh, okay. Like I really like doing this. People think they taste good. So this is cool. But I was always super hesitant to start something. But Perry, thankfully, was like, let's do this. He's very more like a business marketing mindset with his background. So I'm like, okay. So once we were moving, he's like, this is the perfect time. Like we're going to Rexburg. You don't like, you're not going to teach anymore. So let's like hit this hard. And we did. And
That's awesome.
here we
That
are.
you
But
commit to that.
yes,
That you,
but
that's
like
great.
literally could not have done it because my mindset of like, no, like I don't like marketing. I don't like it's not in my realm. So it was super helpful to have him kind of push me along and he still does. Like half the time I'm like, I don't want to make
Yeah.
reels and you know, all the things that you have to do, but he's very, very helpful.
Yeah,
So
he's the
that's kind of
manager.
how yes,
So
exactly.
While this was all building up with the cookies, you were still teaching?
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of when the idea started. I was still teaching, but I would bring things to work or whatever. And then we were kind of like, wait, I wonder if we actually start this. And then I stopped teaching. We moved here. And then our first thing was the Rexburg Fair. So
The Rexburg
not
Fair.
last
Okay.
August, but the August before is when our like opening was. And that was
Okay.
actually really good for us because you know, there's so much foot traffic where people just got to see our name and
That's a
try
good
our
point.
Did you have a
cookies.
booth
And
set up? Was it just like
Yeah.
a tent?
yep, we had a booth.
Okay.
And it was a little crazy. It was more than like we expected. Like you're there for 8 hours a day and it's hot. And
How many
all the
days is it?
things. I think
We
it was
did
3.
like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
My parents ended coming up with their campers. We like had their camper in the back and just to have some like AC and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
crazy.
fun.
But I'm glad we did it. It was a really good way to like
Did you just
Say
bring-
hello.
Was that like your test run into it?
kind of,
Pretty
yeah.
much, yeah.
So if that
it
day
really
didn't
was.
go well or that week, you
I think
maybe
so.
wouldn't have like moved forward
Yeah,
with it.
probably.
Yeah.
Would have been done.
Yeah.
So it was
a really
successful
good.
then.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. Like my mom and I had to run home and make more cookies.
Great.
And so it was great. It was just
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So it was a really good start. And then after that, we just kind of slowly kept
Yeah.
doing our thing.
That's really
climbing,
exciting
yeah.
to see like such a good response
Yes.
for the fair.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Yeah. And everyone there was super like excited and just so kind. And we were able to meet so many people and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Brookie's cookies. We'll remember that. So, and he came up with that too. He's like, your name's Brooke. We have to. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
It is cute.
So
It's good. It's a good memorable name.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, that's how we kind of launched what we have now.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
it's great.
And around here, cookies are a big thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
Is that like a Vegas, Utah here thing?
in Vegas? It
Is
wasn't
it not too much
super big.
Vegas?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
soda.
like
That and
yeah,
soda.
Yes,
Cookies
sugar,
and soda.
just sugar.
Yeah.
yeah. I think like the only cookie place in Vegas is probably Crumble, but that's
Yeah.
everywhere now.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I think I wanted to try it here is because in Rexburg, I mean, you have so many people in such a small spot.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
so there is a Crumble in Rexburg. There's also, what's the other cookie
Chip.
place? Chip
Cookie
and then
place.
Cookie Place. So
Yeah.
like there
Hmm.
is a few cookie places there, but there's no places like ours in the fact that you get to like personally know the person making your cookies.
Yeah.
And so like you guys can already tell Brooke's personality is like contagious and people just really like her. And so that's really what we've tried hitting on like marketing wise
Yeah.
is that you're getting a great product, but also interacting with like our personal story
Yeah.
and with
Yeah.
the girl making your cookies.
Yeah.
Right.
You yourselves are
Yeah,
your
it's not just
brand,
some like high
essentially.
school
It's not
kid
just the
like
cookies.
doing it.
Following
sure.
a recipe.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's-
They're homemade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
True and true. Yes.
Yeah. And then you make these at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you also don't have the brick and mortar rent. So that's
No.
nice.
Yeah.
You're the winner in the end here.
Thank you. Yes. We've dabbled in maybe possibly doing that at some point, but we're really good where we're at right now. Like
We do need another oven.
we do need another oven.
We only have one. We need a double
and
oven
it runs
for sure.
all day long, but
Oh, wow. Really?
2 KitchenAids, 1 oven, and we're just going for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have friends come and help me, or like last week I had a huge order that I went to my friend's mom's house because she has a double oven, and we just baked for like 8 hours that day. So
Wow.
yeah,
So this is now like,
So how,
you
Yeah.
do this all the time. You're making cookies constantly.
I'm making cookies all the time.
like
Yeah.
how many do you make a day?
So it depends. So like the different areas in our business. So we do our monthly subscriptions.
Okay.
And so what I do is I have subscribers. I send out the flavors of that month. So they actually get to choose what's in their box.
Okay.
So I do 2 new flavors every month. Plus I have 6 like OG flavors.
Okay.
So that takes a lot of time of like having them fill out the form, me writing it all down, and then fill in the orders. So,
And we deliver them to your door.
and we deliver them.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And,
You keep yourselves busy.
Yeah, Brooke's
Yeah.
Brooke's little brother
Yes.
is now in Rexburg,
He's our
so he's
delivery
turned
boy.
into our
Perfect.
delivery driver.
Yes, he's so great. So yeah, that takes a lot of time, and that's probably like a few days getting all that together. And then just any random orders that come in through our website. And then I do cookies for Mountain Pop Shop in Rexburg, and
Okay.
she has 2 locations.
It's a soda shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I do cookies for Black Brick Co. here in Idaho Falls.
Nice. Okay.
And then like events or catering. So people ask me that a lot, and it's hard to say because some weeks I'm like baking every single day all the time. Some
Yeah.
weeks it's like 1 or 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends, but it's probably like anywhere from 12 to 20 dozen a week.
oh my goodness.
It just depends on
And how many
what's going on.
cookie types do you have?
So yeah, so I have like 6 original, which is just like chocolate chip, peanut butter, like the normal. And then every month I do 2 new flavors, which is like my favorite part of my job. I love the creating and like when we have our test kitchen days and I like try the new flavors and tweak things. And we usually try to do it like for the holiday or whatever. So for Valentine's
Yeah.
Day, we did like a cute little funfetti heart one. And then this month we have like a green one for March. So anyway, yeah.
So,
like
basically,
8
you
flavors
could
at all
get
times.
orders in tons of different places. So it's never
Yes.
like you have to adjust your batches all the time.
All
It's
the time.
never like one just flat batch. It's
Nope.
like
Yeah. So
you just
one thing that's super helpful
Yeah,
is that
that's
cookies
tough.
freeze really well.
Okay.
So usually I'll like stock up and then I keep them in the freezer I try to not keep them in there longer than like a week, I would say, just so that they're fresh, but they stay really well, which is wonderful. That's another thing with cakes. Like you can't really do that. So with cookies, that's wonderful. But yeah, usually I'm just cranking them out all the time.
Yeah, that's
Our
really
kitchen is
cool
just
that
filled.
you have like those locations that you're supplying cookies for.
No, it's been wonderful. Yeah.
That's
So
a
I
great
started
deal.
with Mountain Pop Shop, thanks to him. He got me in there and she's been so great to work with. So I do their chocolate chip cookies and then whatever specialty cookie they're doing
Yeah.
that month, which is usually one of like my new flavors. And then, yeah, I got in with Black Brick because I did an event there. So just like little
Cool.
connections,
It's
you
just
know?
like spreading around a
yeah,
little bit.
exactly. Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
That's really
so
cool.
yeah, it's wonderful. We love it.
what did you do, Perry, to get her into what was the store?
Mountain Pop Shop. Well, like the first thing I did is, and you guys gave us this question beforehand, how like partnerships have helped our
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the number one thing
Mhm.
that's helped. And I think with any small business, that's kind of what you need to do. And
Yeah.
luckily Rexburg's such a like tight knit community that they
Mhm.
love supporting small businesses. And so there's always like farmers markets or all these
Events,
different
yeah.
events. And Brooke, like it was just our goal to get her at as many events as we could, like as possible. And so like the first thing we did after the fair and after we decided, okay, like this is actually something we want to do, is like, I just got on Instagram and just started like DMing like every soda shop in Rexburg because they all
Nice,
sell
okay.
cookies.
Right.
Yeah.
And like some of them were like, no, we already make our own. But then like some of them were like, yeah, like come bring them by and we'll try them. And if we like them, then we'll do it. And I actually, with Mountain Pop Shop, so I teach public relations on campus at BYU, Idaho, and we had a guest speaker. Have you guys heard of Porter Pro Media here in Rexburg or in Idaho Falls? So one of the producers there was an alumni of BYU Idaho. And so I had him come and speak to my students. And then he mentioned his wife had a pop shop in Rexburg. And I was like, she should talk to my wife because my wife does cookies.
Collab.
And so, yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And I just think just being like genuine to people and not overbearing. I feel like a lot of times when you start a business, it can become overbearing and almost seem like fake. And we just always seem to try to be genuine, bring her business up when it makes sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the beginning, I like never brought it up. I think because I didn't want to be like, I also own a cookie business. Like it never felt like organic. And Perry's like, okay, you gotta like kind of tell people. So it was honestly to that extreme. And then he's been super helpful with being like, you just bring it up. Like, what do you do for work? I own a cookie business. And so, it's been organic in a good way of like, not overbearing, but he's also taught me to, mention it at some point.
I totally know what you mean.
Yes. Because it's a weird balance to be like, I have this business instead of, I don't know.
You're like, am I
it's a
talking
weird balance
too
much.
much?
Right. Am I being annoying? I don't know.
Like you can talk about yourself.
Please, all the time.
Because like you need to be proud of what you do, right?
Yes,
and we put so much, you guys too, you put so much time and effort into this. Like you want to talk about it because you're passionate about it. But at the same time, like you don't want to come across as I'm better than you because I've started something and you're just working a 9 to 5 for an employer. Like, and people don't realize there's nights where we're like super scared. What if this doesn't work?
Right.
Like, and so it's not all just what you see on social media and in our reels. Like it's hard work. It's scary.
Yeah.
But it pays off if you keep just sticking to it.
Yeah, I wish you could say the money just came in easy and it wasn't stressful and easy, but it's just not the case.
I wish.
It's a constant hustle.
Right?
For sure.
Like you have like a really good month and then you're like, oh my God, how are we going to match that again this month?
100%. 100%.
Gotta get back there.
Yes. And some nights I'm like baking till 10 p.m. and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, who signed me up for this? So it's a lot of balance of like, I love what I do and it's so wonderful. And I can't believe the other day he's like, I can't believe you're like still making cookies for people. And I'm like, yes, thank you. So it's a lot of that, but it's a lot of like so much work, way more work than I expected, but it's what you love. So you just do it, you know,
better
if
than
it's a
teaching.
Saturday and a Sunday and better than teaching.
Better than
even.
teaching.
Yes.
That's what I remind myself of my
Totally.
last job. I'm like, I'd so much be rather doing this right now.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So it's a for sure balance that we're figuring out, you know? But
Love
here
that.
we are.
Yeah. So you're like 2-3 years in now, right? For doing this officially?
About like 2 years ish. So
Yeah. So you've got like your footing of how each year kind of goes and like
for sure.
if there's a slow or a high season or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Do you have that? Do you notice that in yours?
Yeah, I've noticed that definitely this time of year, kind of like after Christmas, I feel like January for everyone is just kind of like, bleh. So I'm noticing that, but like summer can be really busy. I feel like that's when I do a lot of events. And then
all the events are in the summertime, huh?
for sure.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I feel like Christmas time and holidays a lot. That's, big holidays like that are super great. So yeah, I would say kind of later in the years picks up a little bit, but but it's pretty steady throughout, like, which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that it's not like crazy all the time because I probably wouldn't do it anymore or like need help
You need
or
the
something.
waves to kind of
I need the
through
I
it.
like the waves. I like that one week it's like, okay, I can breathe for a second and then the next, planning ahead. So
I feel
like
that
I like
for
for sure.
sure.
It's good.
Yeah. So do you find the events during the summertime like really beneficial? Is that like your big selling point?
Yeah, I
or-
would say in my events, I feel like it's just great because there's so many people at one time. So it's like,
Okay.
it's not like people have to get on an order. It's like, it's just there and people are there and it just happens. So
I see that.
I do a lot of like, we did a big, year birthday party for Brookie's Cookies last summer, and that was super fun. We had a lot of people. We just did it like in our neighborhood clubhouse, and so a lot of our neighbors came and friends that we have, and then a lot of the friends that I've made also have small businesses. So I feel like a lot of there's like this little community, and we do lots of giveaways together and lots of little events. We did like a Taylor Swift event last year. There's Pre-Loved in Rexburg. I do events with them. So just kind of like pop-ups and things. So cool. I love events. And it's nice to like just make a big old batch and take them there rather than having to, plan it all out. It's just,
and then you get
a little bit easier for me. Yes. And it's always so fun.
It's like great
pretty
marketing.
Chatty. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Sometimes too chatty.
Because you don't do anything when they're there to the cookies, right? They're just boxed up.
No, they're just there. Yeah. They're just there, and they get to buy whatever they want, make their box, or just buy one. So I feel like we totally just start chatting about whatever, my name or how long I've been doing it or what cookie flavors there are. It's very organic, which I like. I love that interaction with people and getting to meet people. Some people have, and I'm like, rude.
Too far.
Too far. Can't do that. My mom does, and I'm like, okay, fine, but don't tell anyone. Some people have asked, and I'm like, stay back. Stay back away from me.
That frosting that's on top of the cookies, is that considered frosting?
Yeah, that's frosting. Well, and then sometimes I do frosting and whipped cream, depending on what the cookie is. So like the coconut cream pie, it's coconut frosting with whipped cream on top. So just depends what you get. But most is frosting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So are these all original recipes? I don't know if you said that already.
For the most part, like I feel like since I've been doing it for a few years, I would like start with a recipe that I found on Pinterest or something. And then over the years, I've curated them to be my own. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Like I just did a cookie that I have in March is banana cream pie. And since I've done the coconut cream pie for so long and some other pie cookies, it's so easy for me to be like, okay, instead of graham crackers, I'm going to use Nilla wafers and just kind of those little switches. And I have like, I would say my base, probably like 4 base doughs. And then from there, I just add or change or whatever. So
do you do a lot of testing?
I wish I did more because that's my favorite thing. So just a week ago, I tested the March flavors and I'm just like, I could do this all day because it's just so fun to me. But sometimes I do bake for just us or like family, which is not super often, but that's probably my favorite is when I get to test. I know. And I'm like, I just like to bake for me sometimes. But yeah, I just did this weekend, so that felt good. But yeah, I think I wish I could test more, but every month I'm at least testing some new flavors. So yeah.
So I want to talk about pricing.
Yeah.
How do you price your cookies? Because it's so smart you do the subscriptions also. Like that's a
smart.
genius thing.
Yes. Yeah. That we have to give credit to our friend. He was like, he did the fair with us. He just came and helped one day. Yeah. And he's like, you should do monthly subscriptions. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should. So we have to give credit to him. But before we did the fair, I actually remember my sister and I sat down and we priced out like every single ingredient, how you do it. And we came up with the price that it makes to make the cookies. And then we priced out like what an hourly rate for me would be and just time and all that kind of stuff. And we came up with $3.50 a cookie. So that pays for the ingredients itself, my time. And then I feel like it was competitive with Crumble or whatever, because I think they're a little bit closer to $4. So I felt like it was a good range of like, you're still getting a quality cookie that's big and all the things, but it's not breaking the bank. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with our pricing. And then with our subscriptions, we lowered the price just a little bit. So it was a little more enticing. So I think it's $12 a box for the monthly subscription. Yeah. And then a regular box, if you were just buy it, is $14. So just, one little added thing.
And might as well.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's been really great. People love it. It's like the favorite day of the month. So I'm really glad we did that. And but so just kind of that's how we worked it out. And
So this last week, Brooke did an event on campus for a conference they were having. It was like 300 cookies.
Okay.
And
That's
so,
so many cookies.
I know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That is
so
a
many.
lot of cookies.
They're
There's
not
a
just
lot.
like simple cookies. There's a lot of
No,
work.
Right.
yes. Yeah, I did 4 different flavors. It was
So
like
you
a whole
also she also does mini cookies, which are
Cute.
cheaper, of course.
thing. Right. And like half the size.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but what's your number? Like if you do over a certain amount, the price goes down, right?
Yeah. So if people are ordering a big amount of cookies, then I'll knock down the price a little bit
Sure.
by like 15-cent increments, just so it's, more cost efficient for them. And since
Yeah.
I'm making so many, it just makes sense. But yeah, minis are about $1 cheaper than regulars. And then from there,
Yeah.
we knock
Yeah,
it
there's
down.
a girl that we grew up with who actually started a cookie business in Washington.
Okay.
And she's like really successful now and has like all these different storefronts and stuff. And so Brooke reached out to her when we kind of started and was just like asking for her biggest advice.
Yeah.
And she said one thing is you have to understand that this is like your livelihood in a business.
Right.
And she's like, people are going to ask you to bring cookies to stuff all the time, like
Yep.
church stuff or school stuff. And that was like hard for us at the beginning. Like we would always be making them for friends. And of course you need to do a little bit of that at
sure.
the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
for sure.
people need to try your stuff. But now
To an
like,
extent.
right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So now we
Have a
get
cap.
DMs all the time and
Yeah.
like, we'll have people asking us, hey, I need cookies for this bridal shower or this baby shower. And we'll tell them the price and they're just like, oh, wow, like that's
Yeah.
too much. And I'm like,
Well,
that's too
how
much.
much
Yeah.
they are.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we're getting better at that. Like
Yeah.
if you want this quality, like this is what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And if
I
you don't
feel
want
ya.
to pay that, that's fine, but
yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So
No,
Sometimes
that's-
that made
yeah.
me feel uncomfortable, but now I'm like, well, it is what it is.
No, yeah, you get to that point where you're like,
Yeah.
no,
This is it.
no, this is my price, and now I'm
Yes.
like almost offended
I'm
that
sure
you're
you
like
get tons
not
of
willing to
freebies.
pay
Sure.
that.
yeah.
At the beginning,
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god,
you said,
constantly.
Mm-hmm.
you just get to a point where you're just like, okay, enough's enough. Like,
Yeah.
Enough's enough. Yeah.
once
This
you
is
realize
what
how
you
much
get.
is truly coming out of your own,
Right.
your
I'm
own
working
pocket,
really hard for
and you're like,
Really?
okay, I've spent this much, like, and it's not bringing me
Yep.
back any in return.
Yep.
Especially when it doesn't bring anything back
I
in return.
know.
Where I'm like, why?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
So yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot better at that now. It's like, this is what you get. And usually when I do bring a treat or something, it's not cookies, which is
There you
fine for
go.
me
I
because
love it.
it's
That's
a break
fine.
for me. But yeah, I bring something else and
Do you buy it from
People are
like
okay with that.
Albertsons?
Everyone's
You buy
just
some
disappointed
no, I
when
still
they
have to
see
make
you.
it. 'Cause it's just in my heart, I'm always a homemade girl.
Like
so
bring like Rice Krispie treats. They're like,
Yeah.
really?
they're like, what
Like,
the?
we don't-
You're not invited.
Yeah, you can leave, bro.
Why are you here?
Oh no.
Yeah. So I do kind of bring
That's
something
one thing
else
I've
over.
noticed
No,
as
that's
well
funny.
is
I
like
that.
if you just stay true to your brand,
Yeah.
which we've really tried to do, and just make it as personal and authentic as we can, like people are willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because people, like you guys know, I mean, especially our generation, like we want a whole experience
Yeah,
when
sure.
we buy something, whether it's food or anything else. And if we can provide that, I think people are willing to pay a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
that.
So do you do a lot of focus on social media? What is your main marketing moves?
I'll have you take this one since you're a marketing guy.
Yeah, so we actually did a whole rebrand last year. Brooke's older brother works in advertising and does branding for like big national companies. And
Cool.
so
That's convenient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
it was
my gosh.
awesome.
It was
Great.
amazing.
So he helped us out with all of our new branding, and with that we revamped our website and our social media, and so now it all looks very cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, of course we promote all of our new flavors every month on social media and all those things, but it's interesting to me that the type of content that we post that gets the most engagement is like video of Brooke or like
And
or
you.
like us
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like trying the cookies or
For
like just
sure.
being like ourselves.
Sure.
So we mostly show like what products we have or events that she's doing. But the thing that actually generates engagement is when it's just us being ourselves in
Yeah.
our kitchen.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So we definitely, I feel like we're uncomfortable doing that sometimes.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's like so
I hate it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I hate it. But he's very helpful.
but yeah, that's what people like. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he always jokes that anytime he's on the reel, he gets the most views. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
Gotta keep
But
testing
it's
this
true.
theory.
Because he always comes up with such funny ideas, and I don't know. I'm more
'Cause
just
you've
like,
done some,
I just
like,
want to bake. And
Skit ones too.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
good for you guys, because that's
Thank
where I'm like
you.
still trying
I know.
to get there.
It's so hard. Yes. No, he'll just randomly be like, we should do this. And I'm like, okay. Because yeah, my brain just doesn't work that way. I'm like, if I could just bake and be done, then I'm good with that. So
So where are you getting your
Thankfully.
ideas then for this? Are you like
Just like trends on
Yeah.
TikTok and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because actually my main job on campus now is I run the like university social media.
okay.
And so
For all
like,
BYU
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
We're just okay.
So like our Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, like all those
All
things.
the things.
Yeah.
Is there a
lot of work.
TikTok?
Yeah, that's our next thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
You're about
we're
to
definitely gonna go. We're definitely gonna go on TikTok.
That's gonna keep you busy.
Yeah, and so I have a great student team who knows a lot more about social media than I do.
There you go.
So they're constantly
That's-
showing
yeah.
me
Okay.
things,
Keeping you young.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
And we actually have students who come. We have a student right now. She comes over once a month and brings like all of her cameras and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and lighting, and she takes pictures of our new cookies that we put on our
Yeah.
website, and then
Great.
she like
She's
takes some
wonderful.
reels with Brooke, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that really
That's good.
helps. We've had students definitely helping with the
That's so
marketing.
important. That's good
Yeah.
that you're like doing that monthly and like staying on
Mhm.
top of
Yes.
it.
Because
that's
at first I'd be like,
yeah.
oh crap, I haven't posted something in a few days
Yeah.
or whatever. But now it's like we just get it all done. And then we'll do like the fun ones when we have time.
Yeah.
But at least like cookie ones are done. And we love hiring students because it gives them a
No, I
little
love
fun
that.
thing to like add
Yeah.
to their resume or their portfolio. And
And they might bring a fresh twist that you
I love
just
it.
Exactly.
We need to hire a
Absolutely.
student.
Yes. No, seriously, like they are the best.
Anyone.
And you can
We've
probably
had a
just
few
call
and they're
it.
wonderful.
Calling interns.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
call it an internship
Yeah.
and not pay them, and they'll love to do it.
Anyone listening thinks you'd be a good fit,
We're
reach
looking
out.
for an intern for
Yeah.
social
Seriously,
media.
no, they are wonderful. We could
There's
not
an
do it
endless
without them.
amount. Seriously, if you guys want to intern for social media, there's
Yeah.
hundreds of
We're like
students.
kind of at that
Mhm.
point.
Just let me know.
'cause what we've realized is that after doing like all these different clients now,
Yeah.
that like all of a sudden you just have so much to edit.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so many
Content.
things that you like
Oh
do
my
need to
gosh.
show so that people can see what you're doing, and
Right.
see, like you said, like see who we are.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Absolutely.
do that.
I know.
When
We're
you're just
just
like
so
trying to get
busy.
other people their
I'm
stuff.
For
sure
sure,
that
yeah.
editing is the biggest time
Yeah.
commitment for you
It's
guys.
absolutely
right?
like the bottleneck, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
That would be hard.
But it's hard to find someone who's really good at it. And someone who
Exactly.
understands
Yes.
like
Well, it's
the
like-
vision without needing a bunch of back and forth.
For
And
sure.
It's
That's
more
where
us
it's-
letting
Handholding.
go. It's like, because
Right.
I was like,
For
I
sure.
need to
Story
do
behind.
it. Like, I
Yeah.
still need to do it.
Yes.
But I need to
trust me,
trust someone
yes.
else
It's
to
like
do
someone
it.
would probably make
Yes.
some mistakes if we like handed
Like,
over
it's
the
just
reins,
gonna
but it's just gonna
happen.
happen.
I
And,
know.
Like,
Yeah.
you just
I've learned
learn
that.
and
Yes.
correct, and we just haven't gotten there yet.
No, I'm similar to you where it's like in school, if we were doing a group project, like I'll do the project.
yeah, literally.
You stand to the side.
I'm going to assign
Yes.
your job.
100%.
And we were great with you guys doing that.
Yeah, that was him. He was the other side where he's
So
like,
good.
great, you do my
Yeah,
part.
please. I'll get the grade. But yeah, so that's how I've been with this business too. It's like, this is mine and no one else touch it.
I can't touch the cookies. Like, I can
Well,
help promote them, but I can't touch
Hey,
them, which is
you
probably
like
great.
take them out of the oven and you
Yeah,
know.
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's about it.
So
But
is
yeah.
that how you divvy up your time? How do you balance your work-life balance with doing your job? And
I would say, I don't know, like some days it's fun that we do get to do it together. So it's okay that
sure.
it's together in that way, like it's combined. But I would say for the most part, I try to get all my stuff done while he's at work. And then once we're home, it's like we're done and we go do what we need to do. But it is, yeah, a lot of weekends and late nights and things. But yeah, he's usually there helping me or at least just in the kitchen doing his thing. So
Yeah.
it's a good balance. I think that was my biggest thing with teaching. It's like I didn't really have a balance. It was like work and 1% of normal life. So this is a much better balance for I think the both of us where we can kind of cut it off and
Do you have a
do
time
something
frame that you
else.
promise people from once their order's placed to once you get it to them?
yeah, so that depends too. So if someone were just order on my website, it definitely depends on what I have in stock already. So if I already have everything in stock, it's like, I could get you these cookies by today.
Up to date, like how much is left.
Yeah.
But is it like a promise thing? Like you say, like within 24 hours?
It's not, I don't think anywhere on the website, it's like a guarantee.
Okay.
But once they order, they like put their number in and I just text them and then we can just chat like, hey, could you pick up today? If not, I can have them ready by Wednesday, or, you know, it's a very like organic, like,
is that ever
what
get
works for you?
stressful? Like feeling like,
Yes.
like you could have a whole day cleared and you just get a message saying, hey, I need 30 cookies by tomorrow. And you're like, got to cancel everything
100%.
now. And
100%. Yeah. And I feel like with the bigger orders, I do say like, you got to give me some time. I think it's like 5 days is what we have. But whenever people just order a box, sometimes it's hard because it's at night and I'm like, oh, I'm out of sugar cookies or something.
They might be thinking like, I'm getting these tomorrow morning or by this
So
afternoon.
that's why I reach out. I know. Yes. I always reach out immediately and I'm like, hey, this is, you know, either if it's that day or if it's, I can't get them to you for a few days.
Yeah.
Everyone's been okay with it, which is wonderful. No one's been like, really?
Sure.
But yes, it is stressful. Like I have an order today that I have to fill and I'm like, do I have all those? So yeah, I could be baking the rest of the day.
Like, does that ever become an issue?
We do Walmart delivery, which has literally changed my life.
That would be nice.
So we get it probably multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, if I run out of something, usually they deliver it that day, which is amazing.
And we just get like bulk flour and sugar and eggs. Like that's the main.
Yep.
Those are in
All
every
Sam's
every
to get the giant flowers.
We go to
going
Sam's
there right after this.
Yes. Butter especially, like our whole freezer. Our freezer in our house is all butter and cookies. And then our freezer in the garage is like normal freezer stuff. So yeah, it takes a lot of space. And we have a closet in our house that's like all baked, you know, chocolate chips and brown sugar and random stuff. So our house is a little overrun, but it's good.
We know where to go if we need butter.
Literally.
Exactly.
Literally. No, his parents were just
We
here
got
and we
you.
were cooking and baking and they're like, do you have butter? And I'm like,
Do I?
are you
This is
kidding?
it's going to cost
Yes,
you.
I know. It's like, well, that's this much. But yeah, it's always on demand. But Walmart delivery has literally been my saving grace. It is like the best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
to me.
Is there a way? No, I wouldn't work. I was going to say you could get on like Uber Eats or something, but
Some
how would that
people
even
have.
work?
Yeah, there is. So there actually is a way you could get on there. We would have to hire somebody.
That's like an immediate thing. Like when
Yeah.
they order it, that would
Yeah.
They'd have to come and then go.
Get
And
So that's the type of thing
Yeah.
where I think
that's hard.
if we ever got to the point where we do have a storefront, like that's the expectation, right? Like you come in and I'm getting
get
cookies like right now.
Yeah.
So if that's ever to happen, we'll probably switch more to that model.
yeah.
But again, I think it comes back to the personal thing. Like, how cool is it that the baker is texting you right when you put in your order? And
Yeah, it's
like
a little
you
more
guys
personal.
are like figuring that out.
Sure.
For some people that may be inconvenient, but if it was inconvenient, they would just go to Crumble.
Yeah, just go
Right.
somewhere
They know what
else.
they're getting.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
for sure.
Yeah.
I think we've made that pretty clear, but yeah, we would definitely have to kind of switch our model if we were to have an actual storefront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do think right now, like my preference is more like events and catering and more bigger things where it's easier to plan, at least on my end.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's more people getting to experience cookies at one time. And I just like that model and less of just people ordering on the website. And I feel like that's kind of our balance right now. I would say, I don't know, like 40% on our website. And then the rest is more bigger orders or subscriptions or things like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's a high
That's-
percentage to even have coming through your website. That's really cool.
yeah, I mean, it's random. Like, you know, we'll just get notifications randomly throughout a day or a week or whatever. So, yeah, I like where the balance is right now a lot because then it does kind of lower the balance of like demand and having people hurry. It's like, I have a big order, so I'll get it to you then, or, you know, just open communication with them.
It does make it better for you.
Yes.
Making the batch instead of the single
Absolutely.
ones. That makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
How does your product hold up like at these fairs? If you had to get like coolers? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's so hot out. I imagine it like
So
wouldn't
that's the big
hold.
reason my parents came down with their camper is we kept
stored it
all the
there?
cookies, in their fridge. And then we'll keep a certain amount out, and we had coolers out there too. Because the ones with the frosting, they have to be cooled.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I'll put them in for events and stuff. I usually put them in like those little cellophane bags.
Okay.
Or I keep them in like cookie sheets with lids on them to kind of keep them, you know, protected by nature. So, but yeah, that's been sometimes a challenge too. If it's an outdoor event, I do have to kind of prepare in that way of keeping all the things where they need to be. And
it's like a whole nother thought.
it is a whole nother thought. Yes.
Things you don't think about when you
I
like plan
know.
on going to do it.
For sure.
Like,
Yes.
I think we signed up. Well, our friend had us do an event.
Yeah,
And we got like the basic things.
for sure.
But then you don't account for like wind.
yes.
And
Oh my gosh.
all the
Yeah.
things like the
Yes.
tablecloth flying
I
around.
know.
Or like just
Exactly.
all those things that
Oh
are
my
like
gosh.
hands-on
Yes.
learning. That
No,
you're
I
like,
just
oh
went to
my
an event
gosh.
and I have like my pricing up and frames and stuff, and like the frame fell and broke, and I'm like, well,
Oh, no.
just like those little things like you were
Yeah.
saying, like you just
Uh-huh.
go with it because that's what you have.
We're here.
But totally. And
Yeah.
I feel like one thing I will say about events, like a lot of my friends do jewelry or you know, like
Sure.
things like that. And not that that's easier or harder, but they can just kind of pack their things up and show up to an event.
Throw in a case.
And I'm like, crap, I have to spend all week baking and then packaging and then cooling and then, you know, a little bit
It is
more
a lot.
steps.
And
And
these cookies
sometimes
are
it can be hard.
$4.50 now that I'm
I
thinking
was gonna
about
say, I was
it.
raising
Literally.
prices.
Literally. Yeah, I wish. But so yeah, it's just a little bit more preparation and work to get there. But once
Yeah.
I'm there, I love it.
Uh-huh.
I always love an event.
And
but
we're
yeah.
usually the
It's paying off all
only
your
Yes,
efforts are
right.
we're usually the only cookie at an
Yes.
event,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great then.
Yes.
For food wise.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And I think sometimes I even before, if someone asks me to be in an event, I'll kind of say like, who else is going to be there? Just
What's the
because,
vibe?
yeah, sometimes it's not worth it if there are a lot of other food options, or we did learn that in the summer. Like
Okay.
people are looking for ice cream or looking for
Interesting.
lemonade or whatever. So we're, you know, we
And
try
that's
to
the
do
other
like ice
good
cream
thing.
sandwiches or something.
Yeah, that's the other good thing about cookies is they're kind of year round.
Mhm.
Whereas
Yeah.
like you see the snow cone shacks at the fair, like they're not
Right.
doing that
True.
Yeah.
in the winter. So that's kind of another advantage I think we have is like everybody wants a cookie at any time of the
Yeah.
year.
Just grab a cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Be
a
hot or
great
cold,
point.
it's still good.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I love a chilled cookie too.
I do too.
Yeah,
It's
with the
really-
Like
frosting.
sugar with
So
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
What would be your advice to anyone else starting a business or
Yeah.
considering it?
Pursuing their passions.
Yeah,
You want to start?
Sure. I'm gonna get a little personal if that's okay.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Get as personal as you
Um,
want.
So I think it's
whoa, dude, too much.
Calm
Too
down.
much. Calm down.
The tears are coming.
Perry.
no, to be honest, I don't think that Brooke and I would be where we are with this business if we didn't go through like one of the hardest things that we have gone through in our life as a couple,
Yeah.
which was like infertility and going through a miscarriage.
Yeah. That's hard.
So that was in Las Vegas, and it's now that was 2 years ago, and we've been married for 7 years now, and the thing we've wanted more than anything is a child.
Yeah.
And so I remember when we found out Brooke was pregnant, it was like the coolest thing ever. We were so excited, and then we had even heard the heartbeat and everything, and then we went in for our next appointment, and it was just me, Brooke, and the doctor in the room. And she was like, "I'm so sorry, but I can't. There's
Oh my
no
goodness.
heartbeat." And
I'm sorry.
yeah, that was like for the first time, like I actually experienced what depression
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
for
we'd
sure.
always like heard of it and understood that it's a real thing. But I think that was the first time, like those following weeks after that, it's like,
Yeah.
why am I even like living? Like, what's my purpose? Why do I get out of bed?
Yeah.
Like, and I think really what happened is this was like a healthy outlet for Brooke.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it was like a place where she could really just forget about everything
Yeah.
and just focus on something that like she loved. And she was working, but not at the same time, right? Because
Yeah.
she was doing something that was healing her.
Mhm.
And like that's the biggest thing I would say to anybody who's wanting to start something is like find that thing that can just take it's going to be stressful. It's going to be hard. It's going to turn into a business, right? Where money's involved. But if you can find that one thing that you already love doing and that like puts you in a healthy space, and then find a way to share that love with other people.
Yeah.
That's where like that true money making machine is. Right. And that's what I think people get when they interact with Brooke and her business is people can honestly feel like the love that she is putting into this.
Yeah.
And that's what is bringing people back. Is just the passion behind it. And Brooke's been open with her story and has shared that with people in our church and things like that. And it makes them just want to support her even more.
For sure.
And so, yeah, that's my biggest point of advice is like find that thing that you can share with the world. Don't be in it just for yourself.
Yeah.
As soon as you do that, you're not going to be successful, but just more on what you can share to bless others.
Yeah.
For sure. It has to mentally uplift you.
Yeah.
And not drag you down.
Yeah.
And like give you a sense
For
of
sure.
purpose too.
Yeah,
That's
I feel like
important.
baking has always been therapeutic for me, and
It sounds
turn
like
my
it-
little podcast on and I just go and
Yeah.
and it's been so helpful.
And you said you grew up doing that with your mom and your grandma, so I'm
For
sure,
sure.
that's
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
give
healing.
you some peace.
Yeah. And I would just add to that, I think the whole notion of like, don't do it for the money. I don't think we ever were like, we're going to make $1 million by something like never.
We're going to retire
For
tomorrow.
sure. Not at all. Because I think to us, it's not, of course, it's great that we make money doing this, but that's like not our purpose behind it. You know what I mean? And I think we just went into it in that way because, like he said, it's something I love. And when you love something, you just want to share it with people. Like, I just want everyone to try my cookies because they're good and I love them. And then, that's just an added benefit that people are paying for them. And, we can make money off of it. But I think when you start a business, like he was saying, do something that you could do without making a living from. You know what I mean? Like, just do something that really makes you happy. And another thing is to start slow. I think we did good at that too, where it wasn't like we have to have everything done and ready to go. Like, we rebranded a year later because our brand was not that good and we didn't have merch and all the things. So I think it can feel very overwhelming to people. Like, a few years ago, I would have been like, starting a business? Are you nuts? Like, that just seems so big. But I think, just starting slow and slowly word of mouth and getting your name out there and starting an Instagram, just all those little steps you have to take.
Baby steps.
The baby steps. And then 2 years later, it's like, we have merch. That's awesome. And we have a brand and cool. Like, it's felt very, I've used the word organic a lot, but it's felt very organic and just slow building blocks. It's not, we're not millionaires or anything, but we're just slowly building as much as we can and making connections and just, being ourselves. And if people like it, they'll get it because this is what you get. So
It's so cool to like create something that is passionate to you. And then you do see it like rub off on other people. Yeah. It's really rewarding no matter what it is you're selling.
100%. And I think that's been really fun for us to see other people enjoy it. And we've made so many friends through, cookies, and just something so simple has made such an impact.
We're like, where would my life be right now if I wasn't doing these cookies
Exactly. So it's been wonderful. So start a business because it's not as scary as you think, but do something you love and take it slow.
Yeah.
Don't be overwhelmed.
I totally agree with all that advice. It's great
I like
advice.
the take it slow piece. I mean, it'd be awesome if a business just like took off and was like
For sure.
killing it right out of the get-go. But like that's
But it's
So
not
maybe
practical.
you're not ready. Like, that's like,
the
I
world,
think
the world
if it
kind of
did,
gives
I
you what
would
you're
have.
ready for.
Yeah,
I feel
for
like.
sure. And I think that's why I've enjoyed so much like the slow progression we have made, because if it was crazy at the beginning, I think I would have been like, I don't want to do this anymore
Right.
because it's
The
hard
pressure.
to manage already. Like we said, one oven to, it's like I'm just one person. And so it has just worked in our favor, honestly, the progression that it's made. It's like, okay, I can handle baking a little bit more a week or whatever. So we're grateful with
I'm sure every
how
week
it's
that
been
goes
going.
by, you just get more and more experienced, and
Absolutely.
those bigger orders get like less and less stressful.
Yes.
So you're like, I can do
this.
this.
And I'm
I've
getting
done
faster, and I'm, I know my flow and all the different things. So it's been great.
And I think also too, like social media, even though it's so great and it's helped so many businesses, even like ours, get more exposure than we couldn't before, it's kind of skewed what like success is and how it comes. Cause you see like, I mean, you guys see all those pages where it's like, start a Shopify storefront and you'll make, and they show their phone and it shows like 30,000 overnight.
Get an AI, tell you the top 5 niches.
Right.
Totally.
Get an AI to write you a script. Everyone can do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And like you see those everywhere. So like everybody
Yeah.
thinks that overnight they could just like learn something and just start making tons of money.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how real life is.
No, it's not.
Because even if you do make a good job like and make good money in a certain job, like you got to reinvest it into your business now.
Right.
It's not like,
Absolutely.
great, we got to go on vacation.
Right.
It's like,
No, not at all.
you do that, you're gone next month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I think it was good that we started it as we both, and you see this all the time too. Like you kind of have to start with your normal jobs and then just doing it on the side.
Yep.
And then it gets to the point where, okay, a year and a half later, Brooke felt like she didn't need to work on campus anymore. Like she can now just focus on this.
Yeah.
But that took a year and a half. Like if she would have just stopped the first day, stopped her full-time job and just did cookies, like the first day we started the business, there's no way that could have worked.
For sure.
Like you just have to give yourself grace and be patient and be realistic with yourself. Obviously have high goals and motivations, but be realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So where do you see Brookie's Cookies going in the next few years?
Oh man.
Worldwide.
I wish. No, but I don't know. I think,
Well, maybe.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, we'll see. But
We'll set that as your high goal.
For sure.
But
Yeah, that's up
don't be
here.
mad at yourself if
Back
it doesn't
here.
happen.
I'm going to say one idea that I keep pushing on Brooke and it keeps getting kind of pushed away. But I think it would be so good is, so Brooke loves teaching, right? And she loves baking. And the thing that she misses the most about teaching school is just being with the kids. And just like I said, with our miscarriage, that's like a void in our life. Like it's just us two at home all the time. And so, we've talked about doing a baking class for kids at our house.
For kids specifically.
Yeah, because Rexburg has so many young kids.
That's a good
and
point.
there's so many things that parents want their kids to be doing, especially in the winter months when they can't be outside.
Yeah.
Like they're just at home playing video games. Like why not have them come over and bake with Brooke?
yeah.
I love that idea.
For a couple
Brookie's
days
Bakers.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so
Be your
cute.
name.
Brookie's
yeah.
Get a little
Bakers.
apron.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
So cute. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
We've definitely,
Is there like a commercial
Started-
kitchen that you could rent in Rexburg?
that's our thing, is because
Yeah.
I think I could only have about 4 kids and like that
Right?
it's
'Cause then you
comfortable.
could sell a decent sized class.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And
I
then
think if we did it
not
out of our
have it be a mess
house,
at your house.
it would be only like 4 kids. But if we could rent something, that would be
There's
amazing.
got to be
Yeah.
some kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Find a
Some
restaurant in
kitchen.
town and be like,
Exactly.
let me use your kitchen on Sunday.
Right.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, that's definitely been in the back of our mind for a while now.
That'd be
and
super cool.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I think
That's a
we'll-
great idea.
We'll do that eventually. And
Yeah.
even like a bunch of our friends is like, you should do like a date night or, just little things like that where people
Or
could
like
come and
a
bake
daddy-daughter
with us.
thing,
Yes,
like,
for
yeah.
sure.
Totally.
So maybe some more of those type of things. The other thing I want to do is I've been thinking about getting our frozen dough into Brolums.
Cute.
Oh yeah.
Just
That would be
So-
great.
Yeah.
Have you talked to them? at
Take
all?
home.
No,
and-
I'm going.
the next
I
step
just
to
thought of
figure out how
that
to
like
do
this
it.
last weekend.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about like frozen dough, and I was like, we should definitely get like our frozen dough into Brolums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm
Sell it
grateful
in
for him because
tubs
he
and-
thinks of all these ideas and I'm like, cool.
It's like, how to
But
think
yeah.
outside the box.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having new avenues to try.
Yeah.
And,
And I think that's where we're going to thrive. Like it's not because we can't compete with those franchises. Like
Sure.
as much as you want to, like you can't. So you have to be doing the things they can't do because they're so
Exactly.
big.
And like putting it in brewlums just gives you that like the look to your brand more.
For
than,
sure.
I mean,
Right.
it'd be harder to compete if you were like in an Albertsons next to Albertsons cookies where someone might just grab that big old bag for like $3.
$5. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a harder like sell, but
Yeah.
But you just have your market and they'll come for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I think those would be, a lot of people ask like, do you want a storefront? And I just don't see that happening yet. Because
maybe
like
just put
you
a
said,
drive-through window in your house and call it.
Literally.
I made the mistake of putting our business on like Google.
Oh no!
And
Is it your house now?
And it's
It
our
is,
house
yeah.
address.
I'm like,
and so we
cool.
have like these kids knock on our door. They're like, "Hey, we want some cookies."
Did that happen?
They're like, is this Brookie's cookies? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, so can we get cookies? And I'm like, no.
And
I'm
Brooke's
like,
you have to
order
take our
it.
address off the Google.
You need to get
my
yourself a PO
God.
box.
Yeah, literally. Yes.
Yeah, PO box.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I think because I really like the space of one, not having to pay rent to anybody.
It's like you have year-long trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, seriously. You're right. I know. We should put a little sign up in our window. But yeah, I like the space of more doing things like that, like a class or events or catering rather than like, Crumble or Chip, how they just bake out the cookies. So I think we'll kind of go down that path rather than trying to open something and compete in that way. Yeah, kind of go around the
anyone
corner.
can like look at like a Nestle Toll House recipe and try to make a cookie, but the cookies you make, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to take a class.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, and again, that's just how I was raised. Like we just home make what we eat, and especially desserts. And so I think a lot of people didn't grow up that way. Like they would buy stuff, which is great too. So I think it would be helpful for some people to learn those skills
some basic skills
for sure. Yeah. That thankfully, my mom and grandma taught me. So thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah. So I think that's kind of where we're headed eventually.
Okay, so where can people go to find you, order cookies? What's all your information?
Okay, so our Instagram is It's Brookie's Cookies.
Okay.
And that's mostly where you see like our new flavors and all the reels and all that kind of stuff. You can order on there too. Like I always take a DM if someone's like, hey, I want to order cookies. That's great. And then on our Instagram is our website, which is itsbrookiescookies.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you can order a box of cookies. You can sign up for our subscription. You can order our merch on there. So I would say those are our two biggest avenues of where to find us and how to order.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow us because that's where
knock
all
on
the
your
stuff
door.
is happening.
Right, don't do that.
Come knock on my door. And I won't answer.
Probably won't answer,
Hiding in the other room.
Literally.
Go away, I don't have cookies.
Yeah, what? Not me.
No one's home.
So yeah, let's go the technology route rather than face to face. That'd be great.
Like I haven't gotten ready today.
For sure. Yes. Usually I'm in pajamas while I bake. So yeah, no one needs to see me like that.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on our
Yes,
podcast today.
thank
It was so
you.
great to
Thank
learn more
you.
about your business. And
Thank you. We appreciate
great.
it so much.
And
You
thanks
guys
for
are
bringing us
wonderful.
cookies. I can't wait to
Oh,
eat these.
yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. You have to wear the hat while you eat them.
we will. We'll definitely wear the hat while we eat the cookies.
Okay, good.
We'll be promoting it for sure.
Thank you.
And what you guys are doing is so cool. Thank you
Yes.
for
thank
setting
you.
this platform up for people.
Yep.
Seriously, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It's
Thank
fun.
you.
It's fun.
Yeah,
so
it's been
glad.
fun getting to meet so many different people. And
Yeah.
make a platform for people
Yes.
to just
Right.
get out there a little bit more
sure.
in a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Of course.
If you start another
Thank
business,
you.
we'll have you back on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, can we handle the other one? I don't know. But thank you
Yes.
for the enthusiasm.
All right.
Okay, so make sure and follow the podcast if you've made it this far. Please and
Yes.
thank you. And that's it.
Yep.
Okay, bye everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
you.
See ya.